Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de how Social Security can easily be fixed, but the more fun part is how even more easily I can imagine the rebuttals against any of these simple steps, and who would be the ones complaining. Hey, XenPuck here. So you guys know that I like to talk about retiring early and its associated subjects, and today's topic is definitely only fire adjacent because it's about the elephant in the room, Social Security. Now, if you've heard about the subject recently, as in any time in the last 1 or 2 decades, it's always been about how Social Security benefits will go down the drain, or about how certain lawmakers are going to ruin it, or about how it'll disappear in the future. So the only thing that's clear is that currently Social Security is not doing so hot. The government knows this, the people knows this, the media knows this, everyone knows it. So what do we do when there's a clear problem? We human beings are adaptable, right? We can find solutions, right? Oh, definitely. I can tell you a few pretty easy steps to make that'll fix our biggest entitled program immediately. And yet, I'm not sure any of these steps will get done, and that's the real gist of the clip today, right? I'll outline what the proposals are and why some group or another will always be vehemently opposed to any change. Is it fair or not? I have no idea, right? The world to me has never been a fair place, so I don't judge other people. But I do think it's a fun thing to contemplate about, right? Maybe fun's not the right word for most people, but it is for me coming from a position of strength. So if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with no production skills, clearly, okay, like and subscribe and share and comment or whatever. I'll be great regardless, because I just do these for funsies. The first solution's simple. Just raise the retirement age, right? Maybe gradually. This is literally the simplest solution that I doubt will get any traction in our fine country, because, you know, seniors are the most active political bloc by a wide margin, and believe me, everyone's going to be old at some point, and if these steps are taken, any future old people, aka probably middle-aged-ish people like myself, would also likely complain. I will say it's more probably going to be people like me, not me personally, because I don't need the government at all for my own retirement, so, I mean, the idea is that the raise of the retirement age will be gradual over, decades really, but frankly, to get back to the original intention of the program of Social Security, the retirement age would need to be raised to at least 80 years old, okay? Now, just for the sake of contrast, right now, the highest retirement age that the government tells us about is 67 for people who were born after 1960. Also, for even better color contrast, across the pond, there's a massive protest in France where their government wanted to raise their retirement age from 62 to 64, and they have a huge problem with it. So Americans are already working to a later age, and we're talking about raising it even further, right? Much further. So yeah, anyone who dreams of a decade or two being on easy street in those golden years would be opposed to this type of change, right? And that's a lot of people, okay? So I don't think it's ever going to happen. Maybe the government can raise it by a year or two, like what the French wanted, but that really wouldn't be enough. This is extremely sad because the population at large in this country, in the West, right, has long forgotten that a program like Social Security was only meant to make sure the very old won't be destitute after they stop working, right? Not to support seniors for even 5, much less than a decade or more worth of time, okay? I know that sounds callous, but I didn't make the program, okay? That's just the way it actually was, right? Method number 2, you could raise the Social Security tax gap or just remove it entirely. Did everyone know that there is a cap or ceiling on the earned income that Social Security tax actually applies to? That cap is around 140 to 150K as of this year, 2023. It gets adjusted up a bit every year or so, right? So the proposal here is simple. Social Security needs more money, right? Okay, cool. Why have a cap on income where it draws money from then? Well, certainly a minority, right? Plenty of Americans in this country make in excess of 150K a year of earned income, okay? And frankly, those are likely the people who feels the stings of Social Security contribution the least. So this one feels like a shoo-in in terms of how to bridge the shortfall for Social Security, right? Not so fast, okay? Keep in mind the reason there is a cap on income for Social Security is mainly due to the fact that when high earners of the country take the distribution during their retirement period, there's a cap on that too, okay? There's only so high of an amount that you can get from Social Security, right? So if you remove the cap on high earners on the contribution side, will the government remove the cap on the distribution side as well? This is where the question of fairness comes in, right? And what the most likely argument against this move is, right? Why should only one segment of the population contribute an increasing amount of money without ever seeing a potential return on it? So who'd complain about this one? Oh, I don't know, probably the professional class that currently easily make over this payroll tax cap, aka the upper middle class that dominates at least the democratic, side of the party scheme, okay? So is this likely to happen? I wouldn't say never, but I think it's still a slim chance at that. Now, my final solution is also really simple. You can just raise the Social Security tax rate entirely. Currently it's at 6.2%. I've seen calls for it to be raised to 6.5% or even over 7%. My God. Well, the fun part of this is how the onus is now on the future generations, right? Because let's just be clear, the optics for this is just weird. I mean, after all, we cannot retroactively apply this type of tax rate increase to the past. So now younger people, Gen Z or whatever, they will be paying a higher rate to support the same level of benefits for the older people in the future, right? Now, if the working population declines even slightly in the future, this trend can only continue in the same downward direction. I repeat, we'd be increasing the money being cut from everyone's checks right now. Nobody would even be getting better value in the future. The whole move would just result in the same amount of benefits, right? It depends on the continuous slide into a higher cut of your money being taken out by the government to keep up the same scheme, right? No wonder Republicans who profess to hate anything socialist shy away from seeing this type of setting this type of precedents, right? Republicans in general are always looking to cut entitlement programs, so the idea of literally raising taxes just to keep pace must really piss them off. Frankly, I think this particular solution is probably the most likely to happen because the execution is the simplest, right? And people really wouldn't notice the minor amount of increases, rather decreases to their paycheck, right? But as of 2023, it is still unlikely to be done with the political makeup of, DC at the moment, right? So in conclusion, can we fix Social Security? Absolutely. Will we do so anytime soon? I personally think benefits actually needs to crash quite a bit, right? So we need the Social Security fund to run out of money and then for Social Security benefits to be cut like 20% or something like that. At least that, before the political will materialize to shore up this very essential benefit for the elderly, okay? I don't think the old will cave, so the retirement age won't really be raised by any reasonable amount, okay? And the upper middle class will simply not eat the cost. That's not going to happen in this country. So the likeliest dopes, I would call in this scenario, it's going to be the young. Sorry, okay? No malice, mind you. It's just the most likely scenario unless a lawmaker can actually come up with a much more creative type of solution. We'll see, okay? Kicking a problem down the line to the future generation just seems like the most comparatively easiest type of solution, right? I sure hope I am wrong. What do you guys think? Comment below if you have thoughts, okay? I would love to hear it. Cheers, I'll approach it.